Ladies and gentlemen, today we embark on a journey that is as profound as it is transformative. The journey of loving yourself and improving yourself. It begins with a fundamental truth. Before we can truly impact the world around us, we must first nurture and elevate our own selves. Loving yourself is not an act of selfishness, but a necessary foundation upon which personal growth and fulfillment thrive. As we gather here today, I want you to reflect on the power that lies within each of us. The power to embrace our strengths, acknowledge our imperfections, and embark on a path of continuous improvement. When we love ourselves, we open doors to resilience, confidence, and a deeper connection with our purpose in life. So let us begin this journey together, knowing that by investing in ourselves, we sow the seeds for a brighter future. You are capable of making a return, ladies and gentlemen, no matter where you are in life. I could care less about how miserable you are, what you have done, what you have gone through, how messed up your life seems to be, and how low you are. You possess a power that can make you more powerful and superior to anything in this world. One man who attended the seminar was not a child, and I was aware of his alcoholism, and I could smell booze on him as he looked at me. "Excuse me," I said. "Please come in this direction." "What is it?" he asked. "Let me tell you something," I said. "I want you to know that there is something within you that is more powerful than the poison you are ingesting. Can you comprehend what I'm saying?" He looked away, retreated, and repeated, No, I don't know, man," he said. "Yes," I said, "that's why you're here," I said. "You came because of something, and something brought you here. You expressed a need for support and the knowledge that your life merits being in the company of individuals who can assist you in connecting with your inner strength. You see, I believe that the reason we mistreat ourselves by abusing drugs and alcohol is that we are attempting to dull an aching, prodding, or otherwise bothering part of ourselves to achieve something more and better. Given how delicious it is, it can't be. However, when we are fooling ourselves or contaminating our thoughts, because we are unaware of our advantages, it numbs us to the point where we are spared from having to face reality. You see, if you find who you are, the truth of your identity will release you from the desire for booze and any other sort of dream that will undermine who you are. Knowing yourself will release you from believing once you start to embrace who you are. I don't think I could get any better. Upon realizing this potential, the flawless core of our identity, which is within each of us and permeates our existence, we are empowered to take charge of our own life. I had some work done for me by a friend. To put it mildly, it was subpar. I was aware that this man was capable of performing better. I was aware of his frail sense of self. I was therefore attempting to come up with the most tactful manner to tell him this knowledge, since I desired for him to redo my work. I needed my work done well, and I was going to pay him for it, but I was worried about upsetting him. I approached him with extreme care and attention to detail. "Let me share this with you," I said. "You are aware of my concern for you and my admiration for your extraordinary abilities. Furthermore, I know that what you have provided me does not accurately represent your skills and abilities, and neither do you. And I'm suggesting, let's do this again in the studio when we return." "I'm going to forget you ever said that," he told me. I was so exhausted, I never heard from him again. There will be some people like that when you decide to act. Our friendship has ended. That kept me up at night. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I was like, that's unbelievable. One night, I recall staying up late staring at my phone. I had to give him a call, said, "No." I answered, "No, don't remember that I called." Man, this is it. We've known each other for too long to let something get in the way of our relationship. He hung up after saying, "Don't call me anymore." I then wanted to consider what I could do to make up to him. Then something less came to me. What do you need to demonstrate? You see, we tend not to do a lot of things because we want other people to think well of us. In life, some losses are unavoidable. You will lose some friends when you choose to act in your own best interest. Not everyone will think well of you. Some people are not going to like you. Who believe you to be? You're conceited. What do you believe you are capable of? Do you believe you could get away with it? You're self-centered. Regards. I understand that. I live it. I'm trying to tell you that this is difficult as you start to look at your life. Acting like this is difficult. What steps can we take to start using our willpower then? First and foremost, you must take it out and examine it. It is imperative that you remove its authority. It needs to be made aware of the reality. In actuality, it has no influence over you. Put your desired action on paper then, but take a look at it. For whatever reason, you've been holding back. The second step is to ask yourself if putting it off is really benefiting you. If continuing to put things off helps you, then go ahead and do so. However, take a close look at it if it's a burden for you, if it's creating emotional or mental strain for you, or if it might even be a financial issue. Look at it for what it is. The next action is to consider what is preventing you. What's keeping you from taking action? Why lack the bravery to deal with that? Why are you avoiding that? From what are you fleeing? Which avoidance behavior are you participating in? What could possibly go wrong then? I want you to picture that situation to feel the unease and trepidation. Furthermore, its potency will decrease the more you think about it. The issue of what are you going to do arises when we reflect on our lives. As you consider this, which you know you must face, consider your options. Next, clearly and concisely state 3 compelling reasons why you feel compelled to take action in your essay. Since your arguments are powerful, when you are unsure, you will follow your motivations. Your reasons will strengthen your trust when it starts to wane. Say no, don't do that when you're having a conversation with yourself. Your rationale will serve as both a comfort and a staff to help you get through difficult times. So put your motivations down in writing. You will discover that, let me caution you, taking action and facing life's challenges can be difficult and uncomfortable. That's also where the growth is found. You will fall to the earth once more if you are uncomfortable, if you are stretching out, and if you are grabbing life by the collar, and once more and once more. However, your life is given to you when you possess a strong sense of determination and conviction in your actions. It bestows upon you a unique significance and strength. There will be some divine power granted to you. Certain self-discoveries you make will start to energize your personality. You'll start to learn certain things about yourself that you were unaware of. While some people hope to perform better, others just wish they could. Regarding that, where are you at? Let's examine the actions we may do to improve our sense of acceptance, self-worth, and self-approval. This is the top one. You can consider loving oneself to be the most important thing in your life. Observe yourself with attention. Keep an eye out for what makes you truly happy. It is not taught to us to love who we are. It is not instilled in us to take care of ourselves. It's not ingrained in us to take care of ourselves, to become aware of our needs, wants, and desires. Make a deliberate effort then. Put yourself first. Your health and mental well-being are more significant than that of your family or anybody else. For you cannot assist anybody if you are not at peace with yourself or if you are not well. Don't forget about yourself. Many of us, especially women, have been raised to be sacrificial lambs. We forget about ourselves and put our aspirations on hold in order to fulfill the dreams of our children, spouses, and families. Then develop resentment, anger, and bitterness. Thus begin looking out for yourself and taking care of yourself. Create a health strategy. All you have is your health. So begin looking after yourself, eating well-balanced meals, being physically active, caring for your body, and appreciating yourself.
So intentionally take care of yourself. Give yourself some alone. I have spiritual baths, which is one of the excellent things I do for myself. I had my first spiritual bath from Sister Sarah, whom my assistant introduced to me. I had before heard of this. I told her me about it. Regina, hurry up, bathing spiritually. And Sue, he said, a spiritual bath. My secretary's spouse, Larry, I'll give you a spiritual shower for $. However, I play.
Some of my favorite songs are on tape. I engage in play. I add several oils to the hot water in the tub and burn a candle. In addition, I place some flowers that I selected. I feel like a princess because, when I watched Daddy Murphy arrive in America, they were scattering tiny flowers on the ground. I then soak after sprinkling these flowers in the water. I enjoy carrying that out. I then soak, and occasionally I just chill out, read, and listen to music. I need that time to myself. Activate the answering service. I simply set aside some time for myself. I enjoy doing meditation. I've been working out lately, only carrying out a few tasks for me, taking good care of my bodily, mental, emotional, and spiritual needs. You are unable to grow and become your magnificence. It is not possible for you to excel. You don't take care of yourself if you're not feeling well. Thus, I'm looking after myself. Then what do you know? It lessens the intensity of your life. Instead of letting things control you, it helps you control them. Increases your personal authority to handle matters. Observe yourself with attention. Here's another suggestion I have for you. Recognize your needs and learn to love yourself in spite of your flaws as a human being. Learn to love yourself in spite of your flaws as a human. You'll never be flawless. Well, hi there. You'll never be flawless. You're a person. You've committed numerous errors. You've made a lot of foolish and bad decisions. What do you think? You haven't finished yet. You will be doing additional work. Be quick to grab it. Everything is okay. You must learn to treat yourself with kindness. Make everything okay. The mistakes you make and the things you don't know. It's all right. Take care of it. Take what you can from the encounter. Make the decision to always be honest and loyal to who you are in anything you do. Are you gaining from it what you require? Additionally, be honest with them and let them know what you require from them. Don't assume they are aware of it. Say nothing. I assumed you knew. No. Be straightforward with your stuff and let others know what you need from them for it to work for you. Inform them in advance to avoid any surprises down the road, to prevent hurting your feelings in the future. See, they can't do it if they tell you straight out. Right now. You know, you can keep staying, but be honest with people. If we're going to dance, here's what I need to get out of it. This is what I want in order for me to play this game with you. You see, when you neglect your needs, guess what happens? That tune will persistently nag in the back of your head. All right, so when will I receive mine? As I've mentioned to you, if you take somebody and willingly expose them to things they are running from or terrified of, you know what happens? Young individuals, let's say between the ages of 16 and 22, don't really feel good about who they are because their lives are chaotic and disorganized and they don't know where they're headed. People become stronger if you can teach them to face their fears head on and then expose them voluntarily to the things they are avoiding or are afraid of but know they must face in order to achieve their own goals. This is something I have already told you. You also don't know how far that can go. Because you might ask yourself, for example, what would you be like if for 10 years you didn't put off doing what you knew you had to do by your own definitions? Within the confines of the value system you've established, to the extent that you have done that. Well, you know, amazing people do occasionally enter the world, and some people do discover over many years and decades what they could be like if they were who they were, if they talked, if they were forward thinking. And they continue to grow stronger and stronger with no apparent end in sight. The boundaries of it are unknown to us. You may therefore argue that in part, you may be to blame for your excruciating pain, since, as you well know, you are not all that you could be. Of course, acknowledging and contemplating such a thing is dreadful, but it does hold genuine potential, don't you think? Because it suggests that there might be an alternative perspective on the world and method for acting in it. Therefore, the reflection back to you would be far better than the original reflection. Now, I frequently ask undergrads how many hours they waste each day or each week, and the traditional response is roughly 4 to 6 hours daily. Ineffective study techniques, such as viewing YouTube videos that you don't really want to watch or care about, but also make you feel bad about watching afterward. That's definitely 4 hours of wasted time. That's 25 hours a week, you suppose. A month, there are 100 hours. That equates to 2. 5 full work weeks. Every year, there are 6 weeks of work, and if you consider the value of your time to be only $20 per hour, a gross underestimation. If deferred salaries are taken into consideration, the number is probably closer to 50. You're spending $50,000 a year if you're wasting 20 hours a week, and you're wasting that money now because you're young. As I won't be around for very long, wasting $50,000 a year is a far greater disaster than it would be for me. If your life isn't what it could be, you might wonder what would happen if you simply stopped squandering the chances that are in front of you. How much more efficient is unknown. 10 times or 20 times more productive. The Pareto distribution is that. You're not aware of how effective people can become. It's all of it. It's extraordinary. Furthermore, if everyone banded together and stopped aggravating the situation, which is something else that people do frequently, that would be great. Not only do they not take the necessary actions to improve the situation, but because they are vengeful, resentful, conceited, dishonest, murderous, or genocidal, or all of those traits combined into one utterly sick package, they actively try to make things worse. We don't know how much better things would get if people ceased making a concerted effort to make things worse. Promoting the concept of self-esteem has been one of the tasks performed by psychologists over the past 20 years, particularly social psychologists. You ought to be pleased with who you are. Furthermore, it seems senseless to advise someone 20 years old that they should be happy with who they are. It's as if it should be forbidden. Why is it that you should be proud of who you are? You seem to have a positive sense about your potential self. Not that individuals shouldn't be confident, but a lot of the time, when you take young people, say between the ages of 16 and 22, they don't really feel all that good about themselves because their lives are chaotic and disorganized and they don't know where they're going or which way is up. The problem is that it needs to be expressed precisely. It's as though you should value yourself and your potential, but you should focus on your future self, particularly if you're still a young person. Let's assume that at this point you are depressed, chaotic, nihilistic, miserable, and all of that. Bad upbringing, abuse, all of those things are your reasons. It's as if you ought to feel confident in yourself. Like, no, that's not it. That's the correct message. It's more like you should realize how much potential you have to correct that. After that, you should make every effort to bring that into the world, and it will make things right. Plus, that's preferable to self-worth. It feels as though you're in a terrible, corrupt position. All right. That entails a great deal of pain and suffering. Yes, that's not good, so you can't just feel good about it. However, there are things you can do. There is actually something you can do about it. And I believe that to be the case based on the available data. I therefore inform the youth, look, I refuse to act as though nothing is wrong with you, no matter how dire things get. It's not acceptable. It's terrible and laced with evil. And other people suffer terrible harm at the hands of malicious individuals. Sometimes they never fully recover. It's very terrible. However, you're not as alone as you may believe. And if you take a stance and confront it in the affirmative within, you can overcome anything beyond your wildest dreams if you have a noble vision, dedication, and intent. And that's the guiding idea that ought to guide your actions. And I believe that this isn't simply conjecture, which is one of the most wonderful things about being a clinical psychologist. Similar to two things we are aware of in clinical psychology. One is that sincere talks can save lives, because you have an honest discussion with a professional psychologist whose worth is salt. Here's what's wrong with my life, and here's what caused it, goes the conversation. Perhaps that conversation takes a year to have, and during that time, both parties are making every effort to present their positions clearly. This is one possible fix for it. This is what a promising future could entail. So, if the conversation is going well, it's entirely honest. And during the conversation, all that is going on is that both parties are attempting to improve the situation. That's the intention. Let's try to have a discussion that will help the situation. All right, so it seems to work. It does improve the situation. Furthermore, we know that, let's say you have a vision of who you want to be, and there are a lot of things that you are terrified of getting in the way of it. Perhaps you must. You must develop your public speaking skills if you hope to succeed in your career. It's as though you're terrified of that. It makes sense that you don't want to look foolish. Okay, so what should we do in response to that? Perhaps we could start by having you speak in front of only one person, and then after that for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and so on, gradually expose you to the things that frighten you. Gradually exposing yourself voluntarily to your fears can be therapeutic. That is accurate. It functions. The paperwork has been received. People learn this way. To put it another way, I want to tell people that if you face reality head on, speak the truth, and bravely face your fears, both your life and the lives of those around you will improve. That's about as near to an incontrovertible fact as we have, in my opinion. Additionally, it blends very well with the heroic stories that serve as the underlying archetypes. It's like go forth, locate the dragon, face it. It's a dragon. It might consume you. It's risky, but staying indoors and waiting for it to come eat you is worse. Get out there, face it, take the gold, and distribute it to the community. Indeed, it is the oldest human narrative. My friends, as we conclude our time together, I want to leave you with this empowering truth. The journey of loving yourself and improving yourself is not a destination, but a lifelong commitment. Each day presents us with opportunities to grow, to learn, and to evolve into the best versions of ourselves. Remember, self-love is not about perfection, but about embracing our uniqueness and celebrating our progress. As you leave here today, carry with you the courage to face challenges head on, the compassion to forgive yourself, and the determination to keep moving forward. Nurture your mind, body, and spirit with kindness and gratitude. Surround yourself with positivity, seek out mentors and role models who inspire you, and never underestimate the impact of small, consistent steps toward personal growth. Believe in your ability to transform your life from the inside out. Embrace the journey of loving yourself and improving yourself, knowing that every positive change you make contributes to a more fulfilling and purpose-driven existence. You are worthy of love, of growth, and of success. Let your journey be a testament to the power of self-love and the limitless potential that resides within you. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Let's continue to uplift and empower one another as we strive to create a world where self-love and personal growth are celebrated and cherished. Together we can make a difference, one courageous step at a time.